All right. Hey, everybody. Hey, this is Kelby Steele, and I'm joined today with Nina Nathan. Nina is the founder of Sunflower Communications. The point of today's call is to share with you guys how to kick off your small business social media content strategy. So the best person to ask is Nina Nathan. She runs an entire marketing company around running social media content and strategy. And so the purpose of our call is to hear from the expert themselves. So Nina, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Thanks. Hey, so I wanted to start off. This is a big question I get asked all the time from people is people say the customers come to me, small business owners, founders, they're like, hey, look, Kelly, I want to start, I need to start posting online. But they most oftentimes fail to understand the difference between building brand awareness and lead generation. I've seen people, they'll start posting and they'll come to me and they'll say, man, I tried that posting thing like on Instagram and Facebook. I never got anything out of it.
Mhm.
So when you're faced with customers that are coming to you maybe for the first time and launching a social media content strategy, they don't know what that is, but can you tell us the difference in your mind?
Mhm.
What's the purpose of like, what's the difference between brand awareness versus lead generation?
Mhm. Yeah, so I would say brand awareness is really about building trust with your audience. So you can do that by posting things like behind the scenes or staff features or kind of more neutral information about what you're doing. Whereas that lead generation is you're actually trying to get leads. So whether that's you're trying to make sales or sell tickets for an event, or if you're a nonprofit and you're fundraising, whatever it is, you're really trying to get the people who are following you to become or to take that action that you want them to take. Whereas brand awareness is you just want people to know who you are and what you're doing, which is really great for a small business if you're just starting out on social media and trying to just build up your follower base. That's kind of the main difference. So for brand awareness, like I said before, things like posting things like behind the scenes, staff features, general information, and you want to be really consistent in your branding, in your messaging. And then for lead generation, things like having really clear call to actions on your posts. So click for the link or leave a comment below if you want us to send you this or whatever it is. You want to make it very clear and actionable, whereas the brand awareness might just be more neutral, fun information. So that's kind of like the main difference that I think in my mind.
With lead generation, do you see like, do you ask for like a call to action? Do you think it's best to ask for a call to action in every single post that you do?
Well, so that's actually a good point, is that even when you are doing lead generation, you still want to have a mix of lead gen and brand awareness posts because you don't want to
Mhm.
be too spammy. Because if you're constantly
Yeah.
asking people to buy, to donate, to whatever it is, if you're constantly asking for money, that's annoying. People don't like that and it seems spammy. So you do still want to have some of that brand awareness styled posts within your lead gen. So maybe you have, say you're posting 3 times a week and 3 times, yeah, 3 times in one week. Maybe the first post is more brand awareness, like this is what we're doing this week, meet the team. And then the next post is more lead gen, where you're like, this is what we're offering you, click here for the link. And then the third one can also be a lead gen, depending on if you have a campaign or not, how much you're pushing. So having that balance of information is really important too.
I've seen a lot more people doing like ebooks. What is your opinion on ebooks?
It's hard to say because it really depends on your business type. I think ebooks. So in my business, we do provide free resources. They're not ebooks, but it is a free resource. So, for example, we work with a lot of nonprofits, and so Giving Tuesday, a huge day of donation, is coming up in at the end of November, and so we created a free resource for nonprofits to quickly download, and it's just a little social media guide on how they can create content for Giving Tuesday. And it's really
Mhm.
effective because it gets leads into our pipeline. And so even if they don't become a client right away, they might not become a client for another year, but now they're in our pipeline. And now we can send them more email marketing. They're getting to know who we are, building that trust, and then eventually they might take an action.
Interesting. So I know the next thing becomes how do you build out like a linear plan? Now I've got worked, a lot of people they're like they start with something and then they don't finish or they don't stick with it. And I think it's important to start with a linear plan, like, hey, what's your ultimate goal? Even if it's only like, hey, over the next 30 days, I'm going to do this, over the next 3 months or 6 months. When you're sitting down with a new client, how do you build out a linear plan, or what are the most important things to kind of think about, as you're going through different months, different seasons, the holidays, summer, what have you?
Yeah, so I would say one of the first things to really think about is kind of being honest with yourself about what you and your team can actually handle. Because
Yeah.
if you create a plan of, okay, we think that just because we have a campaign coming up, for example, or an event, or we're trying to sell your product, oh, we should be posting a video every single day because that's what the experts say. The experts say that on Instagram, we need to be posting a reel every single day. But is that actually sustainable for you and your team specifically? Because if you
Mm,
are a small business, chances are you don't have a lot of time or resources to be posting that much and to create. That's a lot of content creation, and videos take up a lot of time to create, post, manage. So if
yeah.
you actually can't be handling posting 5 or 7 videos a week, then don't plan that. So I think it's creating a sustainable plan specific to you rather than what you think you should do is really important to start there. So, okay, what can me and my team handle? Okay, I think only 2 or 3 times a week posting. Okay, then do that because it's really about quality over quantity with that consistency. So then
Mhm.
once you figured that out, then I would say map out any campaigns or important dates that happen throughout the year. So you can really create a plan around those things. So depending on your business type, Black Friday is coming up, or like I said, for nonprofits, Giving Tuesday, Christmas, whatever those key dates are, you want to create content around those. And then you can fill in the blanks where there's other times of the year where there's maybe not as many things happening. And that's where you can
Hmm.
maybe get more of that brand awareness that we were talking about before.